Hey, what's up, guys? Moviegoers here, and today we're going to be counting down our top 13 movies of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Guys, this is just our opinion, so if this offends you in any way, I'm sorry, but this is just our opinion. So, guys, let's just get right started with our first movie at number 13.
Number 13. Iron Man 2 was a sequel to the successful film Iron Man. The film did not receive positive reactions at all. The villain wasn't too good, and it was just a sloppy movie in general. It was known as the least successful film in the MCU critically, and just at the box office, it wasn't too good either. And yeah, that's Iron Man 2.
Number 12. One of the most forgettable MCU films, introducing characters that were never talked about or shown in later films, besides General Ross, who was recently brought back in Captain America Civil War. This wasn't even really produced by Marvel Studios, but instead of the rival company, 20th Century Fox. This movie isn't terrible. It has its moments, but as a whole it's forgettable. Don't forget, Edward Norton didn't even sign on to another Marvel movie. Instead, they cast the one we know today, Mark Ruffalo.
Number 11. Thor. This movie is very interchangeable and dull. It has some awesome moments, but gets lost in a shitty love triangle sometimes. The best thing about this film is probably Thor giving a great performance as the badass god. And also Tom Hiddleston and Anthony Hopkins give us some great performances as well.
Number 10. Being just as interchangeable as the first movie, Thor the Dark World is improved in some ways, from the chemistry from Thor and Loki to the awesome setup to the Dark Elves, but the villain is pretty bad and not that great because he's pretty fucking dumb, honestly. Thor's girlfriend, I don't remember her name because she's pretty forgettable and pretty fucking misused. She's really just a plot device and tries so hard to be in the movie more, and I just ain't buying it. She's worse than Piper from fucking Iron Man, and trust me, that's really hard to do. The CGI is okay in the movie, the direction is fine but kinda bland, but overall, Thor the Dark World is really just there to be there because, what was this movie about? I don't even fucking remember.
Number 9. Being very cheesy and over the top, this installment really shows you that Captain America can be good and set up well. Chris Evans is good in this movie and has a standout performance. Yet Haley Atwell and Sebastian Stan do great as Agent Carter and Bucky. Also, don't forget about that awesome setup for Avengers.
Number 8. The third film in the Iron Man trilogy is not as bad as Iron Man 2, but still nowhere as good as 1. Yes, there is good qualities about the film, such as Robert Downey Jr.'s performance and some awesome action scenes and a decent villain, and also, guys, the plane battle was awesome, it was really good, the stunts were great, and it was really intriguing. This movie had one of those grounded performances, yet it tried too hard to be better than its other films in the series. The suits were awesome and stuff like that, but guys, I would recommend this one to see secondly because the first one is obviously a lot better, but guys, this movie was great, and I hope you guys check this movie out.
Number 7. This smaller film in the MCU is very fun and hilarious, with awesome and unique action scenes and a great performance from Paul Rudd, Michael Douglas, and Evangeline Lilly, or whatever the fuck, or however you say her name. The villain was very rushed and generic. This movie is a tiny bundle of awesomeness in the MCU. No pun intended.
Number 6. Being one of the most hyped movies in the MCU, this movie had a lot it had to do, and succeeded most of the time. It was a great movie, don't get me wrong, but it focused more on setting up other movies than being a movie on its own. Especially that part setting up Thor Ragnarok, which was unneeded and not really good, and honestly was a piece of shit. The performances were great like always, the villain this time around was great and well voice acted by James Spader. The action scenes, of course, were awesome, especially the end battle where everyone is fighting aside each other. Even if it has its troubles figuring out what to do with Ultron at the end because they honestly don't know what to fucking do with him, this movie is still great. Not better than the Avengers, but still, this movie is really good.
Number 5. This movie was an awesome start to the MCU, bringing us some awesome acting, especially by Robert Downey Jr., and great action scenes. It's a movie that turned the cheesy comic book movie trend into a dark and more realistic universe. Number 4. This film was a very different film to the MCU, bringing a Star Wars styled movie with a nice blend of comedy and heart. With hilarious performances by Chris Pratt and the rest of the crew, this movie has become a beloved film in the MCU. I mean, come on, you gotta love Rocket Raccoon and Groot, right?
Number 3. being a prime example of a sequel being a lot better and so much more improved than the first movie. Captain America the Winter Soldier is by far the second best standalone movie in the MCU, right behind Captain America Civil War, if you want to call that a standalone film, considering it has every fucking character ever in it. This is a gritty, heart-pounding, spy espionage film that takes you on a real ride. Not like Fast and the Furious, but in like a James Bond way. Meaning the good James Bond movies and not Quantum of Solace, because that movie is fucking shit! Anyways, The Winter Soldier has a great villain as the Winter Soldier, amazing fight scenes, and great acting like always. The Winter Soldier is by far so amazing.
Number 2. This action-heavy film brings together all of Marvel's established characters to an awesome battle, becoming one of the highest-grossing films today. This movie got comic fans going crazy and people that aren't even fans. It's a fun movie watching all heroes interact. Not to mention, it had a great villain by Tom Hiddleston as Loki. By the way, Cap's suit sucks Harambe's dick in this movie.
Number 1. From the amazing set pieces like the end battle and the airport scene, Captain America Civil War is by far our favorite movie in the MCU. The story, the conflict, the characters, and even the villain all have a purpose to be where they are and to side with the morals they want to side with. Every character has a good amount of standout time, like Black Panther and, of course, our favorite Spider-Man, while Iron Man and Captain America both have reasons to believe what they believe and bring us a story that is unforgettable. Joe and Anthony Russo have done it again, and have improved on everything from the last movie. This movie is great and flies with amazing colors and will forever go down as one of the best movies ever made. Alright guys, that was our little video on Captain America, or just the top 13 movies.
Not Captain America, just top 13 Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. Remember, this was our opinion, guys, and thanks for keeping up with my stuttering ass. And, you know, Ryan.
Yeah, make sure to like the video if you liked it, comment feedback if you want to, because it took us a while to kind of make this, and make sure to subscribe if you're new. This was Ryan and Michael from Movie Goers, and I hope you guys have a movie-filled and awesome Marvel day.